You know, for years, we've been told broccoli is one of the healthiest vegetables out there, and it's absolutely true. It's packed with vitamins, fiber, and incredible compounds that our bodies, especially as we get a bit older, really need. We grew up seeing it on dinner plates, maybe pushing it around a bit, but always knowing it was good for us. And how did most of us learn to cook it usually? Into a pot of bubbling water until it turned that soft, familiar, sometimes mushy green. It seemed like the simplest, most straightforward way. But here's a painful truth: that common method, just boiling it away, might be stripping away the very best of what broccoli has to offer. You could be losing a huge chunk of its powerful healing potential. Those amazing benefits that help everything from keeping your heart healthy to supporting your body's natural defenses. It's like buying a brand new car and only ever driving it in first gear. You're just not getting the full power it was designed for. The good news is, there's a much, much better way. Or, actually, several better ways that are just as easy, if not easier, and they unlock all that hidden goodness. In this video, we're going to explore simple, practical methods to prepare broccoli that preserve its incredible nutrients, helping you feel your best, boost your energy, and support your long-term health in ways you might not have thought possible. It's time to stop losing the power of this amazing vegetable. Watch to the end for something that will surprise you and make you look at broccoli in a whole new light. Let's really dive into why that boiling method can be such a nutritional letdown and talk about one of the absolute best alternatives that preserves its incredible power when you boil broccoli, especially for a long time. The heat and the water are the culprits. Many of the fantastic vitamins, like vitamin C and some of the B vitamins, are water-soluble. That means they literally leach out of the broccoli and into the boiling water. When you drain the water, you're pouring away a significant portion of those valuable nutrients. It's like brewing a pot of tea and then throwing away the tea and drinking the leaves. You miss the whole point. But even more importantly, broccoli contains some truly unique compounds. It has something called glucoraphanin, and locked away in its cells is an enzyme called myrosinase. When you chop or chew broccoli, these two meet, and the enzyme helps convert the glucoraphanin into a superstar compound called sulforaphane. Now, sulforaphane is where a lot of broccoli's big reputation comes from. Studies have linked it to powerful antioxidant effects, helping to protect your cells from damage, anti-inflammatory properties, which can be wonderful for conditions like arthritis that many of us experience, and even potential anti-cancer properties, supporting the body's natural detoxification processes. It's seriously potent stuff. But guess what high heat, like boiling, does to that delicate myrosinase enzyme? It destroys it. Just like that. So, if you boil broccoli for too long, you might still have the glucoraphanin in there, but you've killed the enzyme needed to turn it into the beneficial sulforaphane when you eat it. You're left with a softer texture and some fiber, which are still good, but you've missed out on the main event, the healing powerhouse. So, what's a much better way? Steaming. Steaming is arguably one of the gentlest ways to cook broccoli that preserves the most nutrients, especially that crucial myrosinase enzyme. When you steam, the broccoli isn't submerged in water, so the water-soluble vitamins stay put. The heat is also less intense and more even than direct boiling, which is kinder to the sensitive enzymes. Think of it like this. Boiling is like throwing the broccoli into a hot tub that's way too hot for way too long. Steaming is like giving it a gentle sauna, just enough heat to soften it slightly while keeping its vitality intact. How do you steam broccoli properly? It's incredibly simple. You just need a pot, a lid, and a steamer basket. You put an inch or two of water in the bottom of the pot, just enough so it doesn't touch the bottom of the steamer basket. Bring the water to a boil, then place your chopped broccoli florets in the steamer basket. Set the basket over the boiling water. Cover the pot tightly and let it steam. How long? Not long at all. This is key. You don't want it mushy. For tender, crisp broccoli, which is ideal for both texture and nutrient retention. Steam for just 5 to 7 minutes. The florets should be bright green and easily pierced with a fork, but still have a slight bite to them. No more dull, grayish green. soft broccoli. Now, here's another crucial tip when it comes to maximizing that sulforaphane. Prepare your broccoli a little bit before you apply any heat. Remember that myrosinase enzyme and glucoraphanin. They need to meet to form sulforaphane. This happens when the plant cells are broken, like when you chop the broccoli. So, after you chop your broccoli florets and stems, don't throw away the stems. They're full of goodness too. Just peel the tough outer layer and chop them up. Let them sit for about 10 to 15 minutes before you steam them. This little rest period gives the enzyme time to work its magic and start producing sulforaphane before the heat from steaming potentially slows it down or stops it. It's a simple step, costs you nothing but a few minutes, and significantly boosts the nutritional punch you get from your broccoli. Once steamed, you can toss it with a little olive oil, garlic, lemon juice, or just a sprinkle of salt and pepper. It tastes fresher, brighter, and you know you're getting all that incredible health power into your body. So, steaming for a short time, aiming for tender crisp, and letting it sit after chopping are your first steps to truly harnessing broccoli's healing potential. Beyond steaming, which is fantastic. There are other ways to cook broccoli that are much better than the traditional boil and drain method, offering different textures and flavors while still protecting those precious nutrients. One excellent option is a light sauté. This involves cooking the broccoli quickly in a pan with a little bit of healthy fat, like olive oil, over medium-high heat. The key word here is light and quick. You're not drowning it in oil or cooking it for ages. You add your chopped broccoli florets again. Letting them sit for 10-15 minutes after chopping is a great idea here too, to a hot pan with a tablespoon or two of olive oil. Toss them around frequently. You can add some garlic or onions for extra flavor and health benefits, to help the broccoli cook through without burning and to create some steam. You can add a tiny splash of water or broth to the pan and immediately cover it for a minute or two. This combination of sautéing and steaming helps soften the broccoli beautifully while keeping the cooking time short. You want it to be bright green and slightly tender, maybe with a few browned bits which add lovely flavor, but not soft and mushy. This usually only takes 5 to 8 minutes depending on the size of your florets. Sautéing preserves many of the nutrients because the exposure to water is minimal. And while the heat is higher than steaming, the cooking time is much shorter than boiling. It gives you a slightly different texture, often a bit firmer than steamed broccoli with those appealing caramelized edges. It's wonderful served as a side dish, added to stir-fries, or even mixed into pasta dishes. Another method that works well and brings out a different flavor profile is roasting. Roasting broccoli in the oven at a moderate temperature, say, around 400 degrees Celsius or 200 degrees Celsius, can concentrate its flavors, making it sweeter and nuttier, which can be appealing if you find steamed broccoli a bit too green tasting. To roast, toss your broccoli florets and chopped stems with a little olive oil, salt, and pepper on a baking sheet. Spread them out in a single layer so they roast rather than steam. Roast for about 15 to 25 minutes, depending on how crispy you like it. Flipping them halfway through, you'll know they're done when they are tender and have some nicely browned, crispy edges. Now, roasting involves dry heat, which doesn't leach water-soluble vitamins like boiling does. However, the higher temperature over a longer time might affect some of the more delicate enzymes more than steaming. But here's an interesting point. While some sulforaphane formation might be reduced because the enzyme is affected by heat, the existing sulforaphane formed if you let it sit after chopping and other stable compounds are largely preserved. Plus, the delicious flavor you get from roasting can make it a much more enjoyable way to eat broccoli regularly. And consistently eating a vegetable prepared in a slightly less optimal way is better than not eating it at all. So, roasting is a fantastic, flavorful alternative that still provides significant nutritional benefits, especially compared to boiling. It's great tossed with Parmesan cheese after roasting, or even added to salads once cooled. What about eating broccoli raw? This is arguably the best way to get the absolute maximum benefit from that myrosinase enzyme and generate the most sulforaphane. Raw broccoli, like in salads or as crudités with a healthy dip, means the enzyme is completely intact. When you chew it, the enzyme goes to work immediately converting the glucoraphanin. Of course, raw broccoli has a different texture and can be a bit harder to digest for some people, especially in larger quantities. The tough fibers can be challenging, but incorporating even small amounts of finely chopped raw broccoli into salads, coleslaws, or smoothies can be a brilliant way to boost your sulforaphane intake without relying solely on cooked versions. And remember, letting it sit for 10-15 minutes after chopping is especially important if you plan to eat it raw or cook it using methods that might heat it for longer. This rest period is your secret weapon for unlocking that sulforaphane potential regardless of the cooking method, even if you plan to add broccoli to a soup or casserole that will cook for a while. Chop it up first, let it sit, and then add it towards the end of the cooking process if possible, rather than letting it simmer from the start. This minimizes the heat exposure for those beneficial compounds. So, whether it's a quick steam, a light sauté, a flavorful roast, or even a bit of raw goodness mixed in, there are so many wonderful ways to enjoy broccoli that honor its incredible nutritional power. Now that we've looked at these different preparation methods, let's talk a little more about putting this into practice and why it truly matters for your health as you age. So, we've talked about ditching the long, nutrient-draining boil and embraced better ways like steaming, light sautéing, roasting, and even incorporating raw broccoli. The simple act of changing how you cook this one vegetable can have a surprisingly big impact on the nutrients you actually absorb and use. It's not just about eating healthy foods. It's about preparing them in a way that respects the amazing chemistry nature has packed into them. Think about it by choosing to steam for a few minutes instead of boiling for 10. You're potentially getting significantly more vitamin C, helping support your immune system and skin health. By protecting that myrosinase enzyme through gentler cooking or pre-chopping, you're boosting your intake of sulforaphane, which science is showing has powerful effects on reducing inflammation throughout the body. Think less joint stiffness, more comfortable movement. It helps your body's natural defense systems operate more effectively, potentially offering protection against chronic diseases that become more common as we age. It supports detoxification pathways in your liver, helping your body process and eliminate waste products more efficiently. And the fiber in broccoli, which is better preserved with these cooking methods, is absolutely essential for healthy digestion, preventing constipation, and supporting a healthy gut microbiome, which is linked to everything from mood to immunity. Making these changes doesn't require fancy equipment or complicated recipes. Steaming just needs a pot and a simple basket. Sautéing is just a pan. Roasting is just a baking sheet and an oven. The most crucial steps are often the easiest: chopping the broccoli and letting it sit for a few minutes before you cook it, and then cooking it just until it's tender crisp, keeping that vibrant green color and slight bite. These small adjustments are completely doable, no matter how confident you feel in the kitchen. It's about building simple habits that stack up over time. Maybe you decide to steam your broccoli twice a week instead of boiling it. Maybe you try tossing it with olive oil and roasting it on a Sunday for a change of pace. Maybe you start adding a tiny handful of very finely chopped raw broccoli to your salad. Each small step is a step towards getting more of the incredible goodness this vegetable offers. Remember, health isn't about perfection. It's about progress and making better choices whenever you can. You don't have to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Just pick 1 or 2 ways you'll try preparing broccoli differently this week. Maybe you'll commit to steaming it on Tuesday and lightly sautéing it on Thursday. Pay attention to the texture and the flavor. You might find you even prefer it this way. And know that with every bite of that properly prepared broccoli, you are actively supporting your body's ability to stay healthy, to feel good, and to thrive. It's an investment in your well-being, and it's accessible right there in the produce aisle. You don't need expensive supplements. You just need to unlock the power already present in the food you eat. This simple change with broccoli can be a gateway to thinking about other vegetables too. How are you cooking your green beans, your spinach, your carrots? Are you boiling the goodness out of them too? Applying similar principles of minimal water and shorter cooking times can help you get more nutrition from all your vegetables. So, let's recap briefly. Boiling broccoli for a long time in water loses valuable nutrients and destroys a key enzyme needed to form powerful healing compounds. Better methods include steaming until tender crisp, light sautéing, roasting, and even incorporating finely chopped raw broccoli, especially after letting it sit for 10-15 minutes after chopping. These methods preserve vitamins, fiber, and crucially, help you get more of that amazing sulforaphane. Remember, small changes can make a big difference to your health and happiness. It's about empowering yourself with knowledge and making simple, practical adjustments in your kitchen. You have the power to unlock more nutrition from the food you eat every day. We'd love to hear from you. Have you always boiled your broccoli? Are you going to try one of these new methods? Do you have a favorite way to prepare broccoli that keeps it healthy and delicious? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your tips might help someone else. If you found this video helpful and inspiring, please give it a thumbs up. That tells us we're providing content you value. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more practical tips, simple strategies, and encouraging advice on living your best life at every age. We're on this journey together, supporting each other to make healthy choices that add more joy and vitality to our years. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep nourishing your body. Live your best life at every age.